Once again, my name is Amelia Auberry, and I'm a volunteer for Indiana Phenology. In this video, I will tell you how to download and print datasheets to make observations. I will also tell you how to submit those observations to the Nature's Notebook database on your computer. When you make observations, you're looking at phenophases, which are observable stages in the annual life cycles of plants or animals. They have definable start and end points which can last up to a few days or weeks. The phenophases that we look at in Nature's Notebook are the leafing, flowering, and fruiting phases of plants. There are 5 phases for leaves, 3 for flowers, and 3 for fruits. The site will also ask you questions that are optional for you to answer about the intensity of the phenophase you observe. For example, you might be asked if there are leaves on a tree, and if so, how much of the potential canopy space do those leaves take up? When you are unsure about if you are seeing the right phenophase, you can refer back to the National Phenology Network's definitions of the different phenophases for each species. They will define what a plant looks like, such as its color or its shape, and sometimes even what it feels like or its texture in each phenophase. To access the species phenophase definitions, go to your observation deck. Move your mouse down to the Observe menu, under which you will find a link that says View Species Profile. On the Species Profile page, you can scroll down to see the specific phenophase definitions for that species. Alternatively, you can tap on the Plants and Animals link under the Observe menu at the top of the page. Okay, here are your options for printing data sheets and for printing the species definitions. When using datasheets, it is also helpful to have the species definitions printed out on hand so you feel more sure about what you're looking at. Go to your observation deck and scroll to My Plants and Animals. Then click on the plant you want the datasheet for on the list, number 1 in this slide. You will know which plant you selected when, after you click it, it is highlighted in gray. Then move your mouse to the next box to the right of My Plants and Animals. Click on the Print Field Datasheet link and also click on the Print Phenophase Definition Sheet, which are both number 2 on this slide. The datasheet and the phenophase definition sheet should both download onto your computer immediately after you click on the links. If you print datasheets this way, you will need to print a sheet for each individual plant and animal separately. If you click on number 3 or Print Field Datasheets, the site will present you with this page. We are only focusing on plants in these videos, so I recommend ignoring the Create Animal Checklist box. Check off the Day-by-Day box if you want to see multiple plants on your site on a single sheet. Or check off the Species-by-Species box if you want to have a single plant from your site on each datasheet page. You can preview either option by selecting the Preview button to the right of those 2 checkboxes. Also, for either or both options, check off the Create Phenophase Definition Sheet box to print off phenophase definitions for each plant in your site all at once. Once you have selected your preferred options, click the Create Datasheet button to automatically download your customized datasheets and phenophase definition sheets. Once you click on the link or the download for a datasheet, the site will open up a sheet in a different window that has this format. Each set of yes, no, unknown questions is unique to each plant. Check to see if all the information matches up with the plant or plants you selected. In the upper right-hand corner on your screen, there should be an icon of a printer. The icon will look different depending on the computer you use. Click on that icon, fill in your preferences for the dimensions of the paper, and click Print. Once the sheet is printed out, you fill in the date and time in the top rows and circle the appropriate letter in the columns below with a pencil or pen. Do not circle anything under a column of a specific phenophase if you did not check for that phenophase in the first place. In the adjacent blank space to the right of the yes, no, unknown prompts, you can write in the appropriate measure of intensity or abundance of the phenophase, if you wish to. In other words, you can put the number or percentage of that type of phenophase you saw in the blank space. Once you physically fill out your datasheet, you must enter the information into the Nature's Notebook website. To enter observation data on your computer, go to the section entitled Enter Observations, which I circled on the very right side of the page in your observation deck. Then click on the link, Enter Observation Data. You will fill in the same information you took down on your physical data sheets. Make sure you have your data sheets on hand. Check to see if the date, time, site, and individual plant match up with those on your data sheet. Next, note that the 4 tabs regarding your contribution of time, any animal observations, the amount of snow, or additional notes are optional to answer. You are encouraged to, but not required, to fill in those questions to submit your site observations. Look below those tabs to see drop-down tabs for each of your plants. Fill in the phenophase questions for each plant. For each phenophase question, you are presented with the options of yes, no, question mark, or unknown to answer them. You should at least fill in these questions before submitting. The what value question to the right of those is optional. When you are finished entering your observations, press the orange Submit Observations button above the tabs. Once you hit Submit, your observations will show in blue, but they can still be edited later. Okay, I've now taught you everything you need to know about making observations with paper data sheets. A second and arguably less time-consuming way to make observations is through our mobile app. A separate video describes that process. Thank you for joining me and Indiana Phenology as a backyard observer. I hope that you find it enjoyable and rewarding to pay close attention to your plants as they change throughout the seasons. Happy observing!